Ba, 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 ba. It's your boy. Ba, 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 ba. How's it going, Python? Oh, ba, 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 ba. You belong to me. Do, 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 by the skin of my teeth. You belong to me. How's it going, Techno Shark? Shelly Kid, how y'all doing? Today we're doing arguably one of the most bombastic shots that I've ever done. So that'll be fun. Who's excited for that? Headache. We get to animate Max for the first time. So that's going to be fun. I have this shot very loosely laid out. I've laid out all of my audio tracks. They sound freaking awesome. Some of the best audio layout I've done. I'm really excited for that. Thanks for the sub, AJW20. Nice to see you too, Piero. Very EP today. I feel ya. I feel ya. Do 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 do. Is Torque's car secretly a pocket dimension? It is. T-pose. Yeah, we get a lot of T-poses. So this looks kind of ridiculous, but this is one of the levels of what is within the Nagaraboshi. Popping off, boy. Heck yeah. My cat just threw up. AJ, no. That's no kind of life. Okay. This shot is like a 10-second action shot. No. 20 seconds? Oh goodness. This is going to be brutal, but it's going to be worth it. We need to make this series more known. Thank you, Fly Guy. I'm working on it. How's it going, Shanty? I love that you love skifters. It brings joy to my... brings a tear to my eye. Yeah, the response to the pilot has been really good. I'm glad that people seem to be so into what I'm doing because I'm into it, and I'm glad people like it. Oh. Does the car and the motorcycle have their own magnetic field? They don't have a magnetic field, but they do have like essentially like artificial gravity in the works, kind of something like that. Okay, time to start moving stuff. Basically, as far as the shot goes, I need to pause my music for a sec so I can hear this. I guess I have the desktop audio off so that I don't get copyright infringed for what I'm listening to. But I just turned it back on so you guys can hear my audio for the shot, and then you'll kind of get the sense as to kind of what's going on. So I'm gonna just test. Hopefully this isn't loud. Okay, it's a little loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit.
I swear it's just been one thing after another lately. I would love a chance to just catch my breath.
Okay, I actually have to extend this a lot because this is longer than I thought it was.
I swear it's just been one thing after another lately. I would love a chance to just catch my breath.
Chill out, girly pop. You've got this. 8 iron.
Okay, so 460 frames, 450 frames, give or take. The action stops. And at about 2:03, the action starts. So we'll animate this short section here. It's not short at all, but we'll animate this non-action section. Then we're going to lay out the action section, and then we'll do all this later. So I think it's 2:03 where he comes through. I know that without any context of what's happening on the screen, this just sounds like a mess. But I'll go a bit more in depth as to what we're actually listening to in a moment.
Catch my breath.
Chill out, girly pop. You've got this. 8 iron.
Okay. I can actually leave this on. I'm just going to turn it off in the desktop so that I can turn my music back on. Thank you, Silver Spartan, for the sub. You a real one. Ugh. How's it going, Rat Muncher? So Torque, Flip, and her sister aliens are humans. None of them are humans per se. The Skifter's universe does not take place in the universe that we know. It's kind of its own. It's kind of its own thing. Okay. So we're going to have Torque and Damper chatting with one another. We're probably going to have to move the Nagarboshi parts around to make it work for us. Marionettes swing to the symphony like paid paper. Back at it again with the comic. Love it. What kind of future is set in Skifters? How's it going, Undertale? I'm not sure what you mean. What kind of future is set in Skifters? If you mean the future of the show, am I planning on just making it? There's basically like a few different like episodes that kind of function like different acts. They all have different like feels and forms. Some of them are more action packed. In the first episode, there wasn't actually any like. There's lots of action, but there wasn't any like fighting or combat, which is kind of by design. We're kind of setting up the characters in the universe and like what is permissible and what's expected. And then we're going to turn that on its head. We're going to introduce some new characters here in episode 2, set up who they are. And then in episode 3, things are going to become a little bit more like it's going to keep evolving, like the type of show and the type of energy that we have going on, until the show is complete. Yeah. Interesting. I actually didn't know that. That's some science right there, yo. Boop, 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 boop. It's pretty cool. It's pretty swag. We will need some blood coming from some of these characters at some point in this animation, which is not something that I ever really do, and I don't really know what color that blood's going to be because these characters are weird colors. So I don't know if I want to if I want to go traditional with the red, or if I want to like get kind of weird with it. I haven't really thought about it until this moment. But I'll need to do some of that at some point, just given the plot that I've written. So we might get wacky with it. Hard to say. Who's the pink one? This pink character, expanded for the sub. This pink character's name is Damper. She hasn't been on the channel much outside of a picture that I posted of her, because she doesn't show up till episode 2. But there is a animated scene. The first segment of the second episode is now available on my Patreon. So if anybody in chat is already on my Patreon and hasn't checked yet, or anyone here wants to support the show, you can go watch Damper's first scene right now, because it's live on the Patreon. Just saying again, love Torque, and who is she? Just want to know a little bit about her without revealing too much spoilers. I can do that. Yeah, blue would be cool. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. AJ, how's your cat? Did we stabilize? Torque is super passionate about skifting. I don't really want to spoil too much about, how or why. Skifting, which this is not really a spoiler. We just haven't established it in the show yet. But basically, skifting is I've seen some people asking about it. It's just like a sport. It's almost like shot put, where they like throw this frisbee and then they catch it and they keep on like building their streak. Torque is just taking it to like a ridiculous level. She's like taking it so seriously that now it's like it's gone past like the fact that it's a sport, and it's just like this bombastic thing. So Torque's whole thing is that she cares a lot about like passing the great skift as almost like an achievement that's gone like past sportsmanship and into like something way more crazy. Is kind of like the whole thing. I've always enjoyed like animating sports stuff, just because it's just like fun. It's really fun to animate, like the shot where Torque throws her skift at the end of the pilot was really fun. Stuff like that with like sporting in mind is always really fun to animate. Because I'm breakdancing, let's go. Fine, just throws it sometimes. My cat does the same thing. I feel ya. She's a fanatic of the sport. Yeah, basically. She's basically just like taking it to like such a ridiculous level. And her family is like, dude, you gotta stop taking it so seriously and come reunite with the family, because you're like kind of ruining like our whole like family dynamic, because you're just like going off on this crazy adventure and leaving us all in the dust. Like, what the frick? So the whole motivation of Torque's sister and father is like, dude, we just want to be a family again and like all hang out, and you just don't care. Despite that, what for better or worse, Torque is definitely leaning more onto the side of resisting her family to achieve her dreams than not. So what inspired you to make skifters, and what is it based off of? Like a game or something to you? You see the running one. There will be some animations of the vehicles, and there also will be scenes in skifters where the characters are not in the cars coming up. So there will be lots. What inspired me to make skifters? There's no like individual piece of inspiration where I was like, oh, I really like, this movie or cartoon or game, and like I want to make it. My intent going into my work is to intentionally not is very intentionally not to deliberately replicate, because I don't think that replication is a good goal for making good stuff. Personally, there we go. But I'm definitely inspired. I definitely see in the aftermath, like, the inspirations that I'm, like, inspired by, like, coming through in hindsight. So I grew up in a car family. My family's really into cars, so I've always had cars kind of like surrounding my childhood and stuff. So I enjoy Fast and Furious. I enjoy, like, all those like car things. It's way more about the aesthetic side than it is like the performance side in terms of what I'm into. Like, I'm not really good at I'm not knowledgeable about cars or like working on cars. And it's easy. I always call it about cars because that's obviously like what there's a lot of on the screen. But I'm definitely inspired more about the other side of things than I am just the car stuff. So like the action, the way the characters are designed, all that kind of stuff is more like what I get excited about. So like this character has nothing to do with cars, and this is something that I would argue like fits more into my traditional tastes of what I think is cool. Like this is the Moonstrider, which we haven't seen in the video yet. And this thing is cool as balls. Like, I get more excited about this thing than I do like the cars and stuff necessarily. But this thing is essentially has nitrous cans inside of it, and it's got a lever that essentially ejects the most recently used NOS can out of this chamber. And then when this trigger is pulled, it fires the entire can of NOS out of this barrel. And Max here stands on this spoke, on this little like step here. And then it propels him almost like a giant like NOS powered pogo stick. And he has like a cape of refillable NOS canisters to like place inside of the Moonstrider. Like this kind of thing, it's car themed because it's NOS and stuff, but that's the stuff that I get more excited about necessarily than like cars. So will I make another car animation? I'm not going to say no, but that's definitely not like, I like the cars, but they're not the reason that I'm here per se. Ooh. How's it going, goofball? You heard of MTV2? I have not heard of MTV2 or 3. How big is the interior of the car? The interior of the car is pretty crazy. There is this like this whole section has like a doorway to another whole section that we can't see right now. The more of those things I have on the screen when I don't need them, the worse Maya's going to run. So I only have the ones that I need on screen. But yeah, the inside of the Nagaraboshi is crazy. How's it going, Nova? Have you ever heard of Team Fortress 2? I have. I've never played it. I've seen a few of the animations from it. It's not really my style, but I do know of that whole like community. I know that nothing's moving yet on the screen. I'm still setting up this first shot. This shot is going to be complicated and long, so I really got to tread softly at the start to make sure that everything is set up properly. Because once we start animating, we're in for the long haul, and it's going to be a lot harder to undo this stuff when, when we screw stuff up, which it happens. That's just why this is taking so slow to get started here. What's up, Finmeister? Flipette, exactly. Was this supposedly a portalish? Yeah, the idea is that it has this thing called an expanse bridge system, which basically like makes the inside of the car like way more deep and dramatic than it needs to be. What specific animators you look up to / inspired by? Basically, I'm more inspired. I'm more inspired by like specific pieces than I am specific animators per se. If I had to, if I had to pick an animator, my favorite animator is definitely Hiroyuki Maishi. He is the director of Kill la Kill, Gurren Lagann, Promare, which are definitely some of my favorite animated projects ever. More recently, he's the director of Cyberpunk Edge Runners, the first season anyway. I don't know who's directing the second season. I wasn't a huge fan of Cyberpunk Edge Runners, just per my taste, but I do really like his style. Very talented animator. Mm-hmm. Be dead. How's it going, Drew? It's like a TARDIS but a car. I don't know what a TARDIS is, but yeah, it's basically like defying space by like being bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. The bridge expansion system essentially like creates a wormhole to allocate more space so that the inside of this car can have like a bigger engine system than it could otherwise, like in real life. That like in there is where Flip like installed the nitrous. This is only like the first level, so this one's like blue. There's a deeper level that's like orange, and it has like, it's gonna have like a turbocharger. It already has a turbocharger. It has the NOS. It has like a giant like garbage can size blow off valve. Like all these like ridiculous car parts that are just like blown up to a crazy degree. It's like a pocket space, exactly. How's it going, Zekrozma? Love how the art style is. Thanks. Artistically, the art style, I definitely would say leans a bit more Promare than any other anime, and Promare is probably one of my biggest technical inspirations from an animation standpoint, just because they do CG so well, which is normally not super done well. Okay. I gotta quickly run to the washroom. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I am back. Just got to respond to an email here. I'll just be one moment. Have you ever thought about watching animation on stream, less like reacting and more like analysis and appreciation, specifically 3D? I have done that on stream before. I keep getting in trouble for copyright stuff, so I've stopped doing that. That is something that I do like to do, and I've done it before. I've opened stuff. I've opened like an analysis of like things that I like on stream, and then shortly after it's like, you watched this movie on stream, you get deleted. And so we don't do that anymore. But yeah, thanks for me. Dude. What inspired the style for this NZ series? I'm definitely inspired by Hiroyuki Maishi's works. Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill. Stylistically, though, I'm definitely inspired a lot by the movie Promare, which is another Hiroyuki Maishi project. It's an anime movie. It has a ton of CG. It's still pretty anime, but it has a lot of this like lineless, like smooth, bright color things. You know. Okay, based on the audio and what I want things to happen, although this looks good, I think I want Damper to be on the other side of Torque. Which makes me want to turn the camera like this a tiny bit. Do I? It's hard to say. Have you ever heard of Mati Om? Yeah. Yes. Mati Om. You guys are cool in the dark. Can you see their eyes in the mouth? How is that room so big in Torque's car? It has something called a bridge expansion system that kind of is like almost like a portal to more space. I'll take it to finish the first episode. First episode was about 5 months, but that includes making all my rigs and props. So realistically, it's more like 3 months. And yes, I really like Montiome, Rip the Goat. Back before I ever even wanted to be an animator, I was a big fan of Ruby and Dead Fantasy. I don't watch Ruby anymore. Just after Monty passed, it kind of lost the charm for me. But yes, I do know Ruby, and I do like Monty's work. He had such a good handle on like action flow. I haven't done any action in a long time. We're about to be doing some, and I'm really excited to kind of test the waters again because I have not. Thanks, Ivan. I have not. I haven't done action in a while. But we're gonna give it a try. Okay, Damper's gonna stay there. And she's just gonna zip behind Torque. We're gonna just blink for now, just so we can get this dumb expression gone. And then I think our camera's okay like this. So our camera's gonna start out here. It should be more like this. something like that, give or take. Okay. Then we need to get Max and pose him appropriately. Quickly, I'm going to move this set to be more like that. Maybe not quite that much. More like that. Okay. Now we need Max. Oh, I'm so excited for Max, dude. He's going to be so much fun. This shot is going to rock. Are you motivated by people seeing your work? Yeah, this project was insane and I wanted to see more. Can't wait to see how you do fight in action then. Dimensional. Also, have you watched Red vs. Blue season 8 to 10? Monty worked on those. I have seen Monty's work. Your views are clicking up. Keep going. Thank you. Yeah, people seem to be into the project. If you guys want to see like an old piece of work that I've done, I can show you some action that I've done. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. What I more want to say is, be careful. I am better than this because this is old. But this is an old animation that I did when I was still learning. Let me find it here. When I was still learning, I don't want to say that I was, as good as Mathiam, because clearly I was not. But I often got stylistically compared to Monty. So this is a Star Wars animation that I did a long time ago. And I got compared in that like I did like some like choreography action that was very like just like obnoxiously like over animated. So this is a really old animation that I did while I was still learning of like a Jedi and a Sith that were fighting atop a Star Destroyer. This is, I could see eeks of what I like still in this animation as time goes on in terms of like camera work and the type of choreography and stuff is pretty fun. I definitely have leveled up since this animation existed. But I like this flavor of like bombastic like choreography. Like it's just so absurd. As like this whole like it's like one shot of like the camera following her and then like swoops down through the cockpit of the TIE fighter and like keeps the motion going to see like his perspective, and then the camera like doesn't cut. It's so janky and not great, but like there's no cuts. It keeps like swooping around to show like all the action in a single shot, for better or worse. Yeah, like I said, I've come a long way since I made this project, but yeah, this would be one of the last times that I can recall doing action like I plan to in Skifters, but this is, 6 years ago. This was 2 years. That was 2 years into my my animation, career. There's other things that I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. How's it going, Landon and Emma? Would you give it another shot since you've grown? Yeah, we're going to do it right now. Oh, go back and improve that animation? Definitely not. How's the progress so far in episode 2 that you're working on right now, by the way? I've got about a minute of animation. I think it's a minute of animation on episode 2 complete on my Patreon right now. So we're moving. And yeah, we're going to take another whack at action right now. What we're doing right now is going to be the first like action combat shot in Skifters. And the first one I've done in a hot minute. So we'll see what happens. It's been a while, but we're gonna do our darndest. In theory, I'm much better at animation than I was back then. So I must be much better at action animation, right? It'll translate. Like, gosh, let's hope it translates. We'll figure it out. How's it going, Lexi? In war. So I'm just setting up a basic pose. We're going to focus way more on getting the camera right first. And I need a base pose to work with. We're going to get all the keyframes for the camera and Max's position squared away first. And then we're going to basically do a bunch of different passes of like polish and stuff. We're going to need to reference my storyboards. Check it out. So this is shot 1 where we have Torque and Damper chatting. And then a glimmer in the distance is going to appear. And then Max is going to fly in from the window through the windshield. Then he's going to begin to descend into the back of the car down here. And the camera is going to rotate and track his position. And then he'll be facing away from us. And then he's going to pull out a pistol. And then he's going to point it at Torque off screen. He's going to fire. And then the camera's going to turn and track the bullet as it heads for Torque. She's then going to summon a golf club and deflect the bullet. And then she's going to jump into the back. So the camera at this point will be turned around like this. And Max will be down there. And Torque will be up here. He's going to continue to shoot her. And she's going to deflect more bullets and spin as the camera rotates until she lands on the ground. And then she deflects a couple more bullets. And then the camera's going to track one of those bullets to reveal our final shot where the characters are going to speak. It's going to be a lot, and when it's played out, we can play it out with... Hold up, I got to pause my music. We can play it out with the audio, because this will be a bit more telling as to, you know, what things will actually look like. But let me just turn it down a bit in case it's loud.
I swear it's just been one thing after another lately. I would love a chance to just catch my breath.
Chill out, Girly Pop. You've got this.
8 iron!
And then they're going to fight. So that's how that lays out for the most part. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. But it'll be fun. It'll be worth it. It's going to be cool. So the work is worth it. How much experience do you have in modeling animation? Like, have you been modeling for 4 years and animating for 3? I've been doing everything for the same amount of time, which I'll go over in a moment. Just watch your pilot, Holy Cannoli. How is it more popular? We're getting there, Zekro. We're getting there. Kick the window down so they just says the guy backwards. Just goes sailing into space forever. Is the bullet pairing stuff inspired by Ultra Kill? I don't actually know Ultra Kill. Hello, Abiodun. Saw the pilot a couple days ago. So good. Instantly subscribed. Can't wait to see more. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the pilot, and we are working on more right now. But yeah, no, I'm not familiar with Ultra Kill, so I can't say that I was inspired by Ultra Kill. And to answer your question, I have been animating and modeling for the same amount of time for any of you inspiring animators out there who want to know, like, you know, what to do or where to start, because we have a lot of those, I recommend starting with something very small and making a small project. And that way you do your modeling, you do your rigging, you do your animating, you do your post-processing, you do your voice acting, you do all of that. You do it all, right, for a 10-second animation. And if it ever feels like too much, just make it smaller. You do like a 10-second animation or whatever, and then you've done all the parts, all the like whatever, and you're like, oh, like, you know, my model sucked or my rig sucked, and I'm going to adapt and get better. If you make a really long animation, then you do a bunch of modeling, then you animate forever, and you do it all once, you know, and you can't really like iterate. I definitely would argue that I made my projects too long at the start. You'll get longer projects slowly over time as you get better. My projects are going to continue to get longer as I get better because of this philosophy. So start small, make something small, and then you'll keep iterating until, you know, until you crush it. So yeah, I've been doing animation for 8 years now. But I started doing everything. I didn't like just model or just animate or just whatever. Parole. Crazy fast FPS game? No, I'm not familiar. But it sounds like it might be something I'm into. How's it going, Podge? Do you storyboard / make animatics or go straight into 3D? I don't make any concept art. I just go straight into modeling. As far as animation goes, I do storyboard, but I storyboard simultaneously as I write. So I have a couple of books here. Hi. I have a couple of books here. And you can see in these that I basically have like a combination of like, you know, oh, I just opened it and we're at the shot that we're just looked at on Premiere. This is the shot that we're about to do. I basically have like writing, and I write down like, this is what's happening. And then I draw pictures of what's happening. And then on the next page, you know, we have like more storyboards until the action is done. And then once the action's done, then I write like more dialogue and have more pictures. And then these pictures become my storyboards. So yeah, I do storyboard. My storyboards are, as you just saw, they're super duper they're not super well like fleshed out, because the whole point of a storyboard is, and an animatic is to like give it to your animator and they will know what to do. I obviously know what to do because I conceptualized it. So the storyboards help me like write things out in Premiere and like pace out like where they should be. But they don't have to be like animatics. Like I don't do animatics because things moving, it's just like there's no point, because I don't need to translate to any animators because I'm the only animator. So yeah, I do, you know, storyboards in that sense. Okay, I'm gonna move my slider over a little bit. Okay, 270 is probably good. Just popped in. What is this? We're doing some animation. We're doing a little action shot here. How's it going, Mikumo? What's Torque's personality? Does she fight with the golf club, and why does she fight? She does fight with golf clubs, and as per her personality, you gotta watch the pilot, my friend. Okay, so the camera's going to be moving in and moving to the right a little bit over the course of all this time. Okay, and then at this point, Max is going to enter the windshield. Yeah.
That worked out nicely.
They just have a classic sibling rivalry. They're trying to be better than one another. And April feels a little betrayed by the fact that Torque is putting, her skifting dreams over the family, which is resulting in this whole clash between them. Is Torque a sports fan? Torque is a sports fan. Oh no. Max, you are too large to fit in the Nagaraboshi. We'll figure it out. This camera is going to move down, and so are you. And we're also going to rotate. Let's go Mets, baby. Love the Mets. One thing that I'm realizing that we're forgetting about is the Moonstrider. He needs to have this with him. So we have a couple options. We could have it stowed on him, or we could have it in his hand. And I think we're going to stow it. Something like that is probably fine. And then we're going to constrain it to his back. So now it will move with him. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's go Mets, baby. Love the Mets. Here we go. When will episode 2 drop? What software is this? How's it going? Not Miku. This is Autodesk Maya 2022. I say this every time people ask what software it is. How's it going, Golden Guy? Don't get scared by the price tag on Autodesk. You can make everything that I make in Blender, which is free. You need to use Maya. On the website, Maya will say that it's $3,000 or so a year to use, which is crazy. But there's also an indie package you can buy if you're not making a ton of money off of your animations. You can get it for like $400 a year. So it's not nearly as expensive, but it all can be done in Blender, which is free. The only reason I use Maya is because Maya is what I know, and it's a very good software. Don't get me wrong, but the price tag is not necessary. A lot of people hear that price tag and then they're like, "Oh gosh, I am not signing on for that," and I respect it. But yeah, you don't have to pay that to do what I do. $3K? Yeah, it's crazy. It's like $2,800 a year. That last time I checked, anyway. But it's a tenth of the price if you're an indie creator, which I am. So I pay whatever $400 a year or something. When will episode 2 drop? Episode 2 will drop when it's complete. Here we have the timeline for episode 2. This is like everything that I have to do. We're working on this shot. So episode 2 is going to be about 10 minutes long, much like episode 1. It's probably going to run a little bit longer because the timing's kind of weird. It might be like 11 or 12 minutes because I might add a bit here based on how things are going so far. But episode 2 will be done, I'm going to guess, in a couple months. I'm hoping in a couple months. If that's the case, it will be on Patreon for usually about a week to 10 days before public release. And then once it's been on Patreon for a little while, then it'll go public. The Spooky Skull guy. Yeah, this is his name is Max Ammo. He's fun. He's armed to the teeth. Yes, he is. Okay, let's keep moving him around. He's going to go down these stairs, and we're going to keep following him down the stairs. At about 2:36, I want my camera to be facing him. And he's going to be way, way down here. So let's get our camera moving properly. I want the camera to be down here, looking at Max when we get to 2:36, which means we want him to be way over here. And he'll be turned around and facing us. So I'm just roughly putting down like where he's gonna be. So that I can pace out the shots before. But this keyframe is not gonna stay. This is going to be such a cool shot. I really hope that I can stick the landing with it because what I have planned is freaking gangster. Do 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 do. Also, apologies for singing and humming songs that you guys can't hear. I don't want to get copyright yeeted on by YouTube for listening to music, but c'est la vie. Is Damper joining the crew? We'll have to find out when episode 2 drops. Also, subs I've missed. Thank you, Pandastar and Book Roach, for the sub. Anime for episode 2, you are correct. How's it going, Diesel? I asked before, does your wife still have troubles with doing a raspy voice like Rainbow Dash? Does your wife still do voices? My wife still does the voices. She doesn't have trouble with the raspy voice. Torque is a little bit raspy. Damper is certainly not raspy. And then April is totally different. My wife does not have any like professional background in voice acting. She just kind of got thrown into the ring by myself. I was like, I need a voice actor. I can't do them all. So like, hook me up. And then it just happened to be that she was a natural at all the roles that I had planned for her. So we were like, cool. And she's definitely getting, she's definitely like getting better in addition to her just being like naturally good at it, which is awesome. So she keeps leveling up, and she's definitely bringing a ton of character to a lot of these characters. She's bringing a lot of them to life. Yo. Oh my goodness. How do I pronounce this name? One, Abiodun, thank you for the patron pledge. You are a real one. You've made my day. And a super supporter, no doubt, to boot. Appreciate ya. Yeah, Patreon is the best way to support the show. If anyone's interested in helping skifters see the light of day, I currently work a regular like full-time job in addition to animating to pay the bills. So the dream is to do exactly what a Bioden just did and support the show with the patronage of the viewers. So I appreciate you. You made my day. For real. And enjoy the new clip. There's a new clip with Damper on the Patreon. So check it out and let me know what you think. Appreciate you. Oh, this is going to be so good. I know that we're not moving a lot yet because I'm trying to tread really carefully because this shot's going to be complicated and I don't want the scene to get fragile. But this is going to be sweet. Okay. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Abiodun, but seriously, appreciate you. You made my day for real. The Patreon is like it brings a tear. And it's definitely the it's the most like there's a lot of different avenues we could go. We could get funding from a production company, or we could try to get whatever deal. But all those things are my second choice because they just involve like losing creative control. I want to make Skifters exactly what I intended it to be, and not have to answer to the man, not have to make changes because of some corporate reason. Like that's just so lame. I don't want to make I don't want to make any filler or make any crap or do stuff that I don't want to do because I have to. So the dream is to, make it independently so I don't have to worry about the producers want it to be this many episodes, or the producers want, that kind of thing. Like the producers don't want this to happen. Like frick me. I don't want to have to deal with those shackles, those creative shackles. So it's okay if you can't afford to support. Totally respect it. But if you like the content and you can, it definitely moves me closer to being able to work on shows like this full time to make them as special as they can be. So I appreciate it. We want to be George Lucas before selling out to Disney. We want to be George Lucas and not sell out to Disney. That's the line. Yeah, I would much rather make enough to survive and animate, and make what I want than to animate not what I want, sell out to someone like Disney, and then be able to buy a yacht. I don't care about buying a yacht, dude. I want to make cool cartoons. I'm not here to frickin' make that bag. That's so not how I see my work, and it's so not how I will ever see my work. Because that just makes me sad. I just want to make cool stuff, yo. Just want to make some cool stuff. Okay, I think I kind of want to slow things down a little bit, if anything. Pied Piper led rats through the street like a marionette straying to the symphony. Yo, what program do you use? I use what do you call it? I use Autodesk Maya. All your work is cool. Thanks. This is Autodesk Maya 2022. And I just was mentioning this. Don't get scared by the price tag. You can do what I do in any software. It does not have to be Maya. It feels like art accessibility and the accessibility to do art is so real and so true. And I always have to preface because I don't ever want people to feel like they're like, oh, he uses Maya? And then open up Maya.com, Autodesk.com and look at Maya and is like, what the frick? Like, I'm not paying for that. You don't have to. This is just the software I know. And they do have an indie license, which is much more accessible. I don't think they even list it very well on their site because they want to make money. But there is an indie license that's significantly cheaper. So there's that as well. Nice animating. Thanks, Sydney. Okay, so something's happening with this shot. I know that you guys can't hear it. Let me turn the audio on so you can hear it. I'm gonna turn this down a tiny bit. So I'm gonna play what it sounds like so far with this in mind. Now that we have it, now that we have a few keyframes placed.
Breath.
Chill out, girly pop. You've got this.
So in this shot, where you hear this thing, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Sorry if that was a little loud. Where it's like something is spinning. He's gonna have one of his revolvers here spinning, and then he's gonna point it at the camera when you hear this click at the end. So that's what this sound is. Okay, so that is in place. He's gonna start spinning the pistol at the correct time. He breaks through the windshield, and you can hear the glass shattering and stuff. And then right about here, there's this little sound that goes zzz as he sails by all of these blue screens in the background. Right? So you'll hear that. You should hear that here. So between him shattering the glass and the blue screens, which sound more like they're over here, there's a bit of a gap. So now we have a couple options. This is just what I'm currently thinking about. We can go into Premiere and move our sounds around and truncate this space so that he doesn't hang out in this zone so much because this might be a little long. Or we make him touch down early and then he can do like a little spin or something while he's on the ground as he slides along the floor. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do between those options. And that's what I'm currently thinking about.
Breath.
Chill out, girly pop. You've got this.
Because I like how I like how all of that sounds. It just might not fit with the motion we're trying to do.
Chill out, girly pop. You've got this.
What I think we could do is make this entrance slow motion a little bit. So when he breaks through, we'll hold this a bit before he gets released and then flies down. I'm going to test that out before moving to Premiere to shorten things up to see if that would be fun. Because I think that this, as an establishing shot that we hold a little longer, could be cool. So that's what we're going to think about. But before we do, I'm just going to go grab a glass of water. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Did you download the sound effects or do you make them? Quick while he's gone. Hurry! How's it going, Robert? I download my sounds. I do not make any sounds. I do the voice acting and the animating, but the sound and the music is outsourced, licensed assets. And I got my agua. Okay, let us slow this down a little bit and see how it looks. Yeah. I don't like animate. Fun fact, I don't like animating slow-mo. It's really frustrating. But I think it'll be effective in this scene. Okay. Okay. Not bad. I like I said, I'm not a big fan of slow motion, but I think it'll be effective. Okay. We went to Deltarune. I am not familiar with Deltarune. I'm really guilty of not being into a lot of stuff. Usually, if I spend any time doing things that aren't animating or working at my job, they are playing video games with my friends occasionally to be social with them. But I'm pretty bad for like taking downtime to watch or play things that are like either single player or like movies or TV shows or stuff. Like I haven't watched anything in a long time. And when I do watch something that I like, I'll sit down and watch an anime. I'll watch it for like 20 minutes and I'll be like, that was sick. And then I'll like get juiced up and then I'll stop and I'll go work. Read my lips. Yeah, I believe it. I'm just like not good at I'm not really good for like the discipline of of taking me time, you know? It's Skull Man. It is. How's it going, Chris? Okay, so it's time to add another keyframe. Can I hide flip? I don't need you here right now. Okay. I'm going to round these out and just see what they look like. You know? Actually looks pretty good. $26, $22, up to $21. So let's go with more something like that. What inspired your style? I don't really have a. I try not to replicate, so I don't have anything to point to where I like tried to be like XYZ. Something that I'm definitely inspired by aesthetically is a movie called Promare, directed by Hiroyuki Maishi. Definitely one of my biggest stylistic inspirations. Also, Kill la Kill, huge inspiration stylistically for me, for sure. I gotta close Steam. I hate it when I try to click play or something and Steam covers it and then I click on it. I'm not gaming. Okay. That looks pretty good. I can't believe how well that camera's working, to be completely honest. Okay. Let's frickin' rock with these keyframes. Hey. Epic. That looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. Okay. We don't need torque or damper right now. We just need our boy Max. I like Donkey Kong. Not a hater. The new Donkey Kong game aesthetically looks fantastic. I am not going to play it because it's not really my thing. But visually, their art team is on another level right now. That game looks fantastic. Just visually. Just looks so good, you know? Was my life. This was my fate. mm, 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 mm. Skullhead guy, his name is Max Ammo. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Hmm. Oh, that was a mistake. Oof. Hmm. Yeah, I'd definitely go with robot. Hmm. I need a life. I got a life. Okay. We are starting to make this into something, which is sick. So, new plan. He's going to fly in from the window. He's going to do a little bit of a spin, and he's going to touch down facing this way. And then he's going to slide on his feet. We'll be getting rid of this to turn around to get into this position. It's going to have a bit more character. It's going to pad out the time a little bit. But it does mean that we don't have to edit the time at all. But what it does mean is I'm going to take a little break. I think I'm going to kill the stream here. I need to just take my eyes off of this for a little bit and come back to it. I'm just getting kind of this shot is a lot, and I need to take 10 minutes and sit off of it for a little while before I get too overwhelmed. But it's been fun. I'll be back to stream again soon, I'm sure. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you to my lovely new patron. Yeah, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.